Dawn on the Indus. A brick city rises from the mist. Steps descend into a silent pool. Far away, another city waits beside an older riverbed. Same civilization, different faces. Stay with me till the end to learn the truth behind the massacre myth and how these cities really ended. These are cities of the Indus, also called the Harappan Civilization. They flourished in today's Pakistan and northwest India during the mature Harappan period, about 2600 to 1900 BCE. Mohenjo-Daro stands in Sindh on the Indus floodplain. Harappa stands in Punjab, near the Ravi's old course. One began earlier, one grew bigger. Both were planned with care. Both breathed water, brick, and order. Which began first? Harappa did. Archaeologists call its first village-sized horizon the Ravi phase, before 3300 to about 2800 BCE. From there it grew step by step through the Kotdiji phase, around 2800 to 2600 BCE, into a true city by 2600 BCE. Mohenjo-Daro appears as a full, planned city a little later, around the 26th to 25th century BCE. So in age, Harappa leads. In scale, Mohenjo-Daro takes the crown. How big were they? At its peak, Mohenjo-Daro covers roughly 240 hectares within the protected core. Harappa spreads about 150 hectares at peak. Excavations touch only a fraction, but the outline is clear. Mohenjo-Daro is the larger of the two. Who built them? Harappans did. Farmers, craft makers, merchants, and leaders, using shared standards. We do not see grand palaces or royal tombs. No living god-king carved in stone. Power likely sat with councils or elite groups. Corporate rule rather than a single throne. Order came from standards, bricks, weights, measures, and rules for water and waste. Why these sites? Harappa sat on fertile plains linked by river routes. The Ravi once flowed closer, bringing water, clay, and traffic for trade. Mohenjo-Daro rose on the Indus floodplain, where the great river offered boats, silt, and fish, and danger. Floods were fierce, so the city climbed onto high platforms. Water shaped its streets. Water shaped its walls. Water shaped its pride. Now let's walk the build side by side. Foundations first. Harappa begins with mud brick platforms. As the city grows, the brickwork thickens. Sectors are bounded by long ramparts and gates. Mohenjo-Daro rises on tall, terraced mounds. A citadel stands high above flood level, with a lower town below. Layers of flood silt under the earliest levels tell the story. Build higher, or the river will take it all. Bricks and measures. Across both cities, bricks follow a 1 to 2 to 4 ratio, height, width, length. This ratio repeats from house to house, lane to lane, city to city. Cubic weights, carefully cut, keep trade fair across the Indus world. Uniform bricks make straight walls, tight corners, and easy repairs. Standards connect people who never meet. Street grids and drains. Right-angled streets cut the cities into neat blocks. Houses align to lanes. Most homes have bathing areas with sloped floors. Wastewater runs into covered street drains. Stone or brick inspection holes dot the lines so workers can clear clogs. An early public health system, 4,500 years old. Wells. Water is close to the door. Hundreds of wells puncture the city fabric. Some sit inside houses. Neighbors gather at shared wells. The system is whole. Fetch clean water. Wash, carry waste away. A city hums when water moves. Public works. Mohenjo-Daro's pride is the Great Bath. Picture a rectangle about 12 meters long and 7 meters wide, about 2.4 meters deep. Two broad stairways descend into the pool. The floor is set with baked brick. A dark bitumen layer seals the joints to stop leaks. In the open air, the water once shimmered. Ritual cleansing, civic prestige, whatever the meaning, the engineering is sure. Harappa's pride is time itself. Long brick platforms, halls, and workyards, once called a granary, now read more like an industrial zone. Ramps, bays, air passages. Not a single giant storehouse, but a place where heavy work and storage mixed. Harappa shows the process of becoming a city, layer upon layer. Houses and courtyards. Both cities love privacy and air. Doors open inward from the street. Courtyards bring light to rooms. Some houses are large, some small, but the logic is shared. Bathing corners drain to the lanes. Roofs are flat for sleep on hot nights. Workshops and markets. Bead drilling in hard stone, shell cutting and inlay, copper and bronze tools, faience, sparkle, seals carved from steatite, fired to a white glaze. Animals on the seals, unicorns, bulls, elephants, carry short lines of tiny signs. Standard weights move from table to table. Trade feels safe when everyone trusts the measure. City personalities. Harappa is the long story. It teaches how a small settlement grows into a city. It shows defenses, gates, and platforms spreading over centuries. It shows that planning is a habit, not just a blueprint. Mohenjo-Daro is the big stage. It teaches how a city stands against a river. It shows an upper citadel with assembly spaces and the Great Bath. It shows a lower town in a clean grid, with drains and wells at hand. Scale and public architecture speak here. Now the people and power. No silver masks, no royal names chiseled in stone. Yet there is order. Council houses, corporate elites, district leaders. We cannot read the script, so we cannot read the titles. But we can read the city. Shared standards, clean water, controlled craft, and fair weights. Power is in the system. The script remains a riddle. Short texts, no bilingual key. Many signs look like they record names, goods, or offices, but we cannot be sure. So we rely on what we can see. The bricks, the drains, the platforms, the wells. The engineering is the text we can read. Trade and connections. From Harappa to Mohenjo-Daro, standards travel. From the plains to the desert edges to the coast, goods move. Boats ride the Indus. Carts roll on the dry land. Beads, shells, metals, and fine pottery flow through these channels. The Indus world is wide, with cities acting like careful, coordinated hubs. Now, the myths and the secrets. First, the massacre at Mohenjo-Daro. Early excavators found skeletons in clusters. Some imagined a final battle, sometimes blamed on an Aryan invasion. It made for a dramatic story. But archaeology is patient. Later work rechecked the bones and their layers. There is no city-wide burn layer, no rain of weapons, no cut marks across the board. Many skeletons belong to later people living among the ruins, or to small, unrelated deaths. So the massacre myth does not fit the evidence. The city did not fall in one bloody night. Second, the granaries. Long brick foundations with air spaces were once labeled giant grain stores. But proof of stored grain is missing. The pattern makes more sense as raised platforms, work floors, or a mixed industrial complex. Labels change as data grows. We adjust the story to fit the bricks, not the other way around. Third, who ruled? With no palaces and no royal tombs, we imagine power as shared by councils, guilds, or elite families. The same standards in both cities show cooperation, not chaos. Order without a crown is still order. Which is oldest? Harappa begins earlier. Ravi phase by before 3300 to about 2800 BCE, then Kote Diji, 2800 to 2600 BCE, then the mature city, 2600 to 2500 BCE, 1900 BCE. Mohenjo-Daro rises as a great city around the 26th to 25th century BCE and lasts for centuries. So Harappa is older as a place. Mohenjo-Daro is larger at its peak. How did they end? Not with invaders at the gate, not with a fire that eats every house. After about 1900 BCE, urban life thins. The summer monsoon weakens. Flood rhythms change. Some river systems, like the Gagar Hakra, lose regular flow as big rivers shift their courses over time. Fields dry or flood at the wrong season. Merchants move. People drift towards smaller villages, foothills, and new water sources. Between about 1900 and 1300 BCE, the great cities shrink, scatter, and fade. This is a long transition, not a sudden crash. Let's recap the engineering side by side. Plan. Both cities use grids with right-angle streets. A high citadel mound watches a lower town below. Bricks. Standardized 1 to 2 to 4 modules across the culture. Water. House wells, bathing corners, and covered drains with inspection holes. Public works. At Mohenjo-Daro, the Great Bath with bitumen ceiling. At Harappa, large platforms and halls now read as industrial complexes. Scale. Mohenjo-Daro about 240 hectares. Harappa about 150 hectares. Timeline. Harappa starts earlier, grows through phases, and peaks alongside Mohenjo-Daro at 2600 to 1900 BCE. This is the tale of twin cities with different secrets. The long rise of Harappa, the grand stage of Mohenjo-Daro, and the quiet power of brick, water, and order.